Hey everybody, welcome. Hope everybody is doing well. It seems like it's been a while since I know we did a Missing Person Monday, but it seems like that was like a year ago. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Here, it's been a day. It's almost like a Monday. Work was in, and then my youngest nephew had a wreck on his motorcycle today. He's okay. He does have a broken ankle, some bumps and bruises, but of course he's wearing all his gear and his helmet, so he's okay, but he's just scared, scared us all to death. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's going to be sore for a while. He's in a walking boot, which a couple of years ago I had to wear. I broke my ankle, and had to be in a walking boot for about 6 weeks. It's not fun, but he's all right. So, like I said, it just scares you to death whenever something like that happens. But anyway, so I thought tonight we would just do a True Crime After Dark. I did have some stories that I had saved up, some news articles I'd saved up in my browser. And I think the biggest news that I've heard is the Alec Murdaugh news. Apparently he's getting a new trial. So we're going to talk about that. I haven't really read up a whole bunch on it. I do know they vacated the homicide charges and sentences. Now he does still have I think it's like a 27-year sentence and a 40-year sentence for all the financial stuff, whatever that was. So apparently he's going to get a new trial. So please let me know what you guys think in chat, or if you're watching replay, please do leave a comment on anything that we talk about tonight. And if you are replay crew, thank you so much. We love our replay crew. So if you are a replay crew, please leave me a comment down below to let me know that you are. Anyway, so I'm going to say hi to everybody in chat. Chris is here. Miss Marion is here. Mustang is here. Junior made it. He said, I hope it's 9:30 Eastern. That would be great. Yes, it is 9:30 Eastern time. 8:30 Central. Mustang is here. If I repeat names, I apologize. Junior said it scared me when it suddenly came on. Yeah, I accidentally hit the wrong intro. I hit the intro for the one that I usually use for just the Southern Gal After Dark when we do the fun stuff. It is kind of loud, so I apologize for that, for scaring Junior and anybody else that it might have scared. Miss Paula is here. Hello, Miss Paula. It's always good to see you. Thank you. Mustang is getting in links. Junior says, yeah, broken ankle sucks. Yes, they do. And I don't know how bad his is. Now, when I broke mine, I just broke one of like the smaller bones at the bottom of the ankle. Now, it was painful. And like I said, I was in a walking boot for 6 weeks. So I don't know how bad his was, where the break was, or how long he's going to have to wear his walking boot. But just poor baby. I mean, he's not a baby. He's 20 years old. Of course, you know, they'll always be babies, but he isn't home, probably chilling out and sleeping. They did give him some pain meds, and so I'm sure he's taking it easy. But anyway, thank you, Mustang. Appreciate it. So that was our excitement. Too much excitement for the day. It's too much excitement for the year, honestly. It's nice to see you too, Miss Paula. Thank you. Yes, and I might, Chris said the biggest news for him is the Noel Alvarez Rodriguez update. Yeah, hopefully for right now, everything is working pretty good. Which I didn't read about that until after I'd already made my slideshow, but if it'll let me, I'll find an article about that case, and hopefully it'll let me screen share, or I'll just read it if it won't let me screen share. But yeah, apparently they have positively identified the remains. I believe they were found maybe in the backyard or somewhere close to the home, but they have been positively identified as little Noel. So it's just heartbreaking, absolutely. Yeah, Junior singing, those boots are made for walking. Yeah, you can't walk very well in them walking boots. I'm telling you, they're a pain. But anyway, we're just glad that the broken ankle is all he had. Some bruises and scratches. Like I said, he was wearing all his gear, so it saved him. And actually, my brother, when he called me to tell me what happened, I just got out of the showers, getting ready to go to work. He called me and said, oh, James had a wreck on his motorcycle. I'm like, oh my God, is he okay? He's like, yeah. I said, at first they thought he might have a broken leg, which I guess technically your ankle is part of your leg. But so anyway, I was talking to my brother and he said, yeah. I said, when I was talking to him on the phone, he said, I could hear the paramedics telling them that he was lucky that he was wearing all his gear and a helmet, which he always does. Saved him. They said it saved him from a lot of road rash and head injury. So we can handle a broken ankle. It was better than a broken head or a broken neck or anything else. But anyway, so Chris said about the Noel case that they were found on the property where his house is. That's what I was thinking. And wasn't the mother already arrested and charged? It's been a while since I looked at anything about this case, so I'm going to have to re-familiarize myself with it. But I think I did read when I did come across an article when it came up in my notifications. I think the mother had been arrested and charged. But anyway, you guys can let me know and call me if I'm wrong. All right, so I think I'm caught up. And then, like I said, I do have things planned, but if any other cases or anything else, anything else you guys want to talk about, just put it in chat and we can talk about it. Like I said, it's been a while since we just kind of did one of these, and now, you know, in the True Crime After Darks, more so than in the Missing Person Mondays, I can get more into chat with you guys, and that's what I enjoy about these True Crime After Darks. And welcome to anybody who may be new here. We're glad that you're here. And if you feel so obliged, Please consider subscribing, hit the like button. Those things, share it out. Those things do help the YouTube algorithm, if the gods will allow it. The YouTube gods will allow it. But anyway, we will get started before I babble on too long. So first, there's not really an update that I know of in Nancy Guthrie's case, but I did find this article popped up on my Google page, and apparently the neighbors now are complaining or saying something about all the flowers and things that have been left as like a little makeshift memorial in front of her house. So and I don't know, is the sheriff, is he in, is he out? Sometimes an article will come up and they'll say the Sheriff Nanos is still there, they're trying to get him out, and then some articles say that he's out. So you guys let me know. I don't know. I just know that I don't know, just from the things I've read, it's just been kind of a mess. But anyway, this article is from people.com, and it came out a couple days ago. It came out the 12th. Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood, so I'm assuming it's kind of like a homeowners association type thing. So her neighborhood asked residents to stop leaving flowers outside of her home 100 days after her disappearance. So apparently Willie Pugh, who is president of the Catalina Foothills Association, said that warmer weather and animals attracted to the memorial items have raised safety and upkeep concerns in the neighborhood. I mean, that's all well and good, but from what I've seen, just the pictures I've seen, the houses are spaced pretty far apart. So I don't know that anything left in front of her house is going to affect the neighbors. I don't know. But now I think the article does mention that, there's of course a lot of traffic up and down the road, and people coming and going. I can understand that, but as far as just leaving things to the memorial, anyway, so things are popping up, stupid ads. So 100 days after Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie, disappeared, her neighborhood association is asking supporters to stop leaving flowers and memorial items outside of her Arizona home, citing safety and maintenance concerns. Now, I don't know what the maintenance or safety concerns would be. In a letter sent on Monday, May 11th, Will Pugh, who once again is the president of the Catalina Foothills Association, said neighbors near the home have been, quote, particularly affected and left on edge, end quote, by the 84-year-old's disappearance, as large numbers of people from outside the area have descended on her street and local roads. Now, that part I can understand. I mean, it is got to be frustrating and just kind of make your anxiety go up if there's, lots of unknown people coming, cars and people coming and going. I can understand that part, absolutely. He added that the association has received numerous reports of behavior from non-residents that is, quote, disrespectful of neighbors and the surrounding area, end quote. So I don't know what they mean exactly by disrespectful, except maybe just, like I said, the coming and the going, or if they're coming on to neighbors' property. Now I can understand that also. Pugh said that the memorial items were left with good intentions, but animals, wind, and rising temperatures have created safety and maintenance concerns. Instead, he encouraged supporters to donate to World Vision, which is apparently a global Christian humanitarian organization that Nancy loves, according to him. He said, quote, Nancy has been a resident of our neighborhood for over 50 years. Her children, like me, my children, and many of yours, attended our local public schools. As with most of us who have lived here for decades, Nancy and her family are rooted in Tucson and the Catalina Foothills, and she and her children and grandchildren have many close friends who are all suffering while waiting for any news of her whereabouts. So he concluded, I urge you to keep Nancy and her family in your thoughts, and to respect their privacy. Our homes may be relatively far apart, but we as neighbors are closer than ever, end quote. Local and federal authorities believe that Nancy was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night on February 1st, citing surveillance footage showing a masked man outside her front door as of whatever today is. I don't even know what today is, the 15th, 16th. No suspects have been identified. Investigators previously said Nancy's blood was found outside the home along with mixed DNA that is still being tested in an effort to identify a suspect. So I think another point of contention was getting this DNA tested. I don't know if the locals didn't want. There's conflicting stories that I've read too about whether the FBI is still working with it, or if the locals, told the FBI to get lost. What the deal is with that. But I would I've just assumed that maybe the FBI might be able to get the DNA tested and processed quicker and maybe have better ways of doing it than like a local lab. Now, I don't know for sure. That was just my assumption. So the mixed DNA is still being tested in an effort to identify a suspect. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos told a Fox News reporter outside the department on Friday, May 8th, that investigators are closer to solving the case, but he did not elaborate further. I have questions about this. They're closer. That we've been hearing that for how long now? 100 days, more than 100 days now. It's closer. We're getting closer. We're going to get them. We're going to get them. So Savannah, 54, has been open about her mother's disappearance online, pleading with her apparent kidnappers to bring her home. The Today Show host, who took a leave of absence and returned in April, recently shared an emotional Mother's Day tribute post featuring several clips of Nancy. Savannah wrote in the caption, quote, "Mother, daughter, sister, Noni, we miss you with our every breath. We will never stop looking for you. We will never be at peace until we find you," end quote. That breaks my heart. So a $100,000 reward has been offered by the FBI for any information leading to Nancy's recovery or an arrest in the case. And Savannah and her family have since increased the reward to $1 million. So anyone with information about Nancy's disappearance is asked to contact 1-800-CALL-FBI. That is 1-800-225-5324, or the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4900. So what do you guys think about like I said, on one hand, I can understand the neighbors with, people coming and going, strangers, this and that. And if they are, going onto the neighbor's property, I can, obviously that's a problem. But if they're just, coming and leaving, the things for the memorial, I don't know. It's like a catch-22 situation. But let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see. Oh, hold on. I almost kicked myself out. Chris said, going back to Noel case, said his parents are arrested, but they have not identified the remains yet. Okay. Okay, I will look at that. Chris also said, I found an Alabama case about an African-American teenager who was hurt by unknown individuals. His name is Marcavius Mark Rumpf, who is unalived by an unknown or unknown persons or people. Okay, I will definitely look at that and see what I can find. Thank you, Chris. Mustang said she will also look into it. Junior said, he said the magic words. Junior said it is time for ice cream. Ice cream sounds good. I can't eat a lot of ice cream. Apparently, I'm lactose intolerant in my old age. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Hey, Boston, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Junior said he looked at the case. It's awful. I can just imagine. Oh, hold on. Everything jumped on me. It's good to see everybody here tonight. We usually do our true crime after darks on Friday nights. And I was going to do it last night on Friday, but with work and everything going on, I just, and I fell asleep early Thursday night and Friday night, or Thursday night. So I didn't have time to get everything, all the slideshow and everything made to do it last night. So we'll do it tonight. And then I'll have to stay awake, do my best to stay awake and watch Dave Allen the Proud should be on tonight at his usual time. Central time, it's usually 12:30ish Central time. So I'm going to have to try to stay awake for that. I think I stayed awake for most of his, and not in any way because he is boring. Dave is never boring. It's just I'm old now and can't stay up late, apparently. So if anybody cares to join us, if you're a night owl, and you can join us about 12:30ish Central time, you are more than welcome to come participate in chat. If you can't, please be a replay crew. Absolutely. Chris says, if you look at the case I mentioned, have tissues nearby. Oh, I will. Most definitely. Most definitely. All right, let's see what we have next. Okay, so we'll have Murdaugh next. Let me get the article. Let me get a drink. I'm getting everything loading. So the court has overturned Alec Murdaugh's homicide convictions. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Come on and load. Why are you stopping? Yes, I'm talking to my computer as I always do. It usually didn't do any good. Oh, it loaded. Thank you. So Alec Murdaugh, the court overturns his homicide convictions and he orders a new trial. So let's see what this is all about. And this is from CNN.com. It is from the 14th of May. Can't believe we're in May already. And my birthday was just a few days ago, 10 days ago, actually. Yeah, because it was on a Monday, and I think we did the Missing Person Monday on a Tuesday, because me and some of the family went out to eat for everything, for late Mother's Day, my birthday. My nephew James is the one who just had the motorcycle wreck, his gotcha day, the day that his adoption was finalized, like 12 years ago. Doesn't seem like it's been that long. And then his dad, my baby brother's birthday, is in the last part of May. So we just kind of had a big dinner to went out to eat to celebrate everything at one time. All right, so court overturns Alec Murdaugh's homicide convictions and orders new trial. I just can't even stand to look at his face still. It still looks always so smug and smirky. It's just my opinion. All right, so it says the South Carolina Supreme Court on Wednesday overturned Alex Murdaugh's homicide convictions and ordered a new trial in the unalivings of his wife and son in June of 2021, saying the trial was marred by the improper influence of the county clerk, Becky Hill. So I remember hearing a lot about Becky Hill as county clerk when the trial was going on. There was things being said about what she was allegedly doing back then. So now it's apparently come back to haunt the conviction. So in a 5-0 ruling, the court said that Hill, quote, placed her fingers on the scales of justice, thereby denying Murdaugh his right to a fair trial by an impartial jury, end quote. The justices wrote, quote, although we are aware of the time, money, and effort expended for the lengthy trial, we have no choice but to reverse the denial of Murdaugh's motion for a new trial due to Hill's improper external influences on the jury and remand for a new trial, end quote. So what did she do? I know it's something, she said something about, one of the things she said was something about, she told the jurors to watch his body language or something. I don't know. I don't recall what else she supposedly said or did. So with this ruling, the court also vacated the 2 life sentences that Murdaugh had received for the homicide charges. Still, he separately pleaded guilty to dozens of financial crimes and will remain behind bars on concurrent state and federal sentences of 27 and 40 years. So even if something happens and in this new trial he's found not guilty of the homicides, then apparently he will still stay in jail for basically 67 years for those combined federal charges. So Attorney General Alan Wilson said his office plans to retry Murdaugh on the homicide charges. So Attorney Wilson said, quote, while we respectfully disagree with the court's decision, my office will aggressively seek to retry Alex Murdaugh for the homicides of Maggie and Paul as soon as possible, end quote. And I'm assuming he's going to have the same lawyers. Wilson told reporters his hope is to get the case retried by the end of the year, but noted the window is still open for his team to ask the South Carolina Supreme Court to reconsider its decision or to appeal to the Supreme Court of the United States. So I'm assuming the Attorney General can appeal to the Supreme Court to reverse it, to reinstate the denial of his whatever. I'm telling you, it's like a 3-ring circus. The ruling is the latest twist in the sprawling Murdaugh saga that has riveted the public and spawned true crime documentaries, podcasts, and books. Murdaugh, a prominent attorney from a South Carolina low-country legal dynasty, was convicted by a jury of the homicides of his wife Maggie and 22-year-old son Paul in March of 2023. The 6-week trial featured extensive testimony about Murdaugh stealing millions of dollars from vulnerable clients in his own law firm. He took the stand in his own defense. He, of course, denied all the charges, a position that he maintains, even as he admitted to massive financial theft and admitted that he had lied to investigators about his whereabouts just prior to the homicides. I don't know, to me, that one video they found with his voice calling the dog just minutes before the homicides, just, I don't know. Let me see. Lost my place. So Murdaugh's attorneys appealed to the homicide convictions, saying the trial was tainted by the county clerk's improper comments to jurors, prejudicial evidence, and failures at trial. Becky Hill later pleaded guilty to criminal charges connected to the case. In contrast, prosecutors argued the convictions should stand. Murdaugh was convicted because the evidence against him was overwhelming, and he was, quote, obviously guilty, they said. Prosecutors acknowledged the clerk's comments were inappropriate, but said they were minor in the grand scheme of the trial. I kind of have to, just my opinion, I kind of have to agree with that. I mean, so at a February hearing on the appeal, the 5-member panel of justices appeared skeptical of the prosecution's arguments. The homicide trial was the capstone to a remarkable fall from grace for the personal injury lawyer whose father, grandfather, and great-grandfather served as a local prosecutor consecutively from 1920 to 2006. That is just unreal. So, sorry, it jumped again. Murdaugh was a partner at a powerful law firm with his name on it, but that prominence belied underlying issues, and the homicides of his wife and son were followed by accusations of misappropriated funds. His resignation, a bizarre alleged, so he had this alleged self-harm for hire thing that where, what was it? He was supposedly stopped changing the tire and somebody just came and he hired somebody to just come and pew him in the head or something. That was just crazy. And so then you also had the insurance scam plot. He had a stint in rehab for addiction. He had dozens of financial crimes. He was disbarred, and ultimately then we had the homicide charges. So Murdaugh's appeal focused on allegedly inappropriate comments to jurors from Hill who worked during Murdaugh's trial and later wrote a tell-all book about it. Well, of course she did. In January 2024, retired South Carolina Chief Justice Jean Toll questioned several jurors about what Hill said and its impact on their decision. One juror referred to as Juror Z reported that Hill said, quote, "Watch his actions and watch him closely" when Murdaugh took the stand. The juror told the court those comments, quote, "made it seem like he was already guilty," end quote. Well, I know it's all up to interpretation. I mean, in my opinion, how you interpret, I made up a new word. How you interpret people's body language is, I don't know, they call it the science, I guess. I don't know. I know there's a lot of body language expert people on YouTube. But I mean, people are going to interpret it, I can't say that word, interpret body language in different ways. Anyway, so further, the juror alleged that Hill told the jury, quote, "not to be fooled by the defense's evidence," and said, quote, "this shouldn't take us long," quote, end quote, when deliberations began. Now that kind of thing, saying don't be fooled by the evidence and this shouldn't take long, that's kind of crossing the line. I agree with that. So this juror said that she was influenced by the remarks. So juror X reported that Hill said the day of murder or of Murdaugh's testimony was important or epic, and juror P said Hill made a comment to, quote, "watch Murdaugh's body language," end quote. However, other jurors said they did not hear any comments, and all the jurors except juror Z said that Hill did not influence their decision. But even if you have one juror that is influenced by something that somebody shouldn't have said, that, I mean, that is grounds. I mean, I agree with, I can agree with that, with them, vacating it and having a new trial. For her part, Hill denied making most of these comments. She admitted that she told the jurors Murdaugh's testimony, quote, "was a big day," but likened her comment to what she called a pep talk that did not indicate favor for one side or the other. So why was are court clerks allowed to talk to the jury? I thought there wasn't really anybody except for the judge really that was allowed to even talk to the jury. Now, I don't know. I'm not an expert on the court system, so I don't know. Toll determined that those comments did not influence the jury's verdict and denied Murdaugh's request for a new trial. Still, Toll found Hill made improper comments to the jury, was not credible, and was, quote, "attracted by the siren call of celebrity," end quote. So Hill was charged last May with perjury, obstruction of justice, and misconduct. The charges allege that she made sealed evidence available to the media. That's no go. Lied under oath about doing so and used her court position to promote her book about the trial. She pleaded guilty to the charges in December of 2025, and she was sentenced to 3 years probation. Murdaugh's attorneys argued that her comments violated his right to a fair trial and an impartial jury, while prosecutors downplayed their importance. Sorry, it keeps jumping on me. Oh my God, now I got to find the... So the court wrote in its ruling, quote, "We agree with Murdaugh. Prejudice is presumed from Hill's comments, and while this presumption is rebutable, however you say it, the state failed to overcome this presumption." Murdaugh's attorneys, Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin, praised the ruling in a statement. So in their statement, they said, quote, "The Supreme Court's decision today affirms that the rule of law remains strong in South Carolina. We look forward to a new trial conducted consistent with the Constitution and the guidance this court has provided," end quote. While the Murdaugh family is not looking forward to another trial, they do believe in Murdaugh's innocence, Griffin told CNN's Jake Tapper. Griffin said, quote, "They're glad that he no longer has the moniker of convicted unaliver of his wife and son," end quote. Meanwhile, there is some concern about where a new set of jurors could be impartial when presented with the same evidence, given the well-known nature of the case. Yeah, it's going to be hard. They're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody who has not heard of the case or who can say, yeah, I've heard of the case, but it won't influence my judgment. Prosecutors also prepared for a redo. Lead prosecutor Creighton Waters told CNN's Laura Coates. Waters added, quote, "We live in a society also where the jurors are more used to consuming media, and they understand the differences between what's in the media, what's in a podcast, and what's the truth of the evidence on the witness stand." She goes on to say, "We're going to depend on our citizens to do that because there is no going back," end quote. So the defense will file a motion requesting the trial venue be moved from Colleton County to a different location in the state, Griffin told CNN. Griffin said, quote, "It is not possible to find a jury of 12 who haven't heard anything about this case, but that's not the goal. The goal is to find 12 jurors who can put aside the noise and listen to the evidence," end quote. Since the trial, the attorneys told Today, quote, "A lot of people out there who believe in Alex's innocence," end quote, "have given them information about third parties and potential motives. But the pair would not characterize the nature of the information or elaborate further." Harpootlian said, noting reluctant witnesses may choose to speak up now, but if they don't, investigators can legally get information through subpoenas. He said, quote, "I wish we could talk about it, but I think this reversal is going to give us much more access to that information," end quote. So Murdaugh's appeal also challenged whether the prosecution's extensive focus on his financial crimes was appropriate in a homicide trial. At the trial, a series of witnesses testified about Murdaugh's history of financial crimes, as prosecutors sought to show that he took the lives of his wife and son to fend off a gathering storm that he believed would soon expose him as a fraud. This evidence was key to their theory of his motive, according to prosecutors. However, Murdaugh's attorneys argued this motive did not make logical sense. They said the prosecution improperly used the financial crimes evidence to malign Murdaugh's character and argued that it should have been limited or excluded from the trial. The appeals court said that it ordered a new trial based on Hill's influence on the jury, and so did not officially rule on the evidentiary issues. Still, the justices offered guidance for a potential retrial, saying the trial court, quote, "allowed the state to go far too long and far too deep into aspects of Murdaugh's financial crimes," end quote. Now, if once again, I'm not an expert on the court system, but I mean, if they were saying that was the motive for the crimes, then I can understand why they allowed it to be talked about. As an example, the appeals court noted the testimony of Michael Tony Satterfield, who's a victim of Murdaugh's financial schemes, who said that his brother, quote, is a vulnerable adult and he has a disability, end quote. The court wrote that testimony had zero probative value and had obviously high potential for unfair prejudice. So that is the latest. So we'll see what's going to happen. Well, apparently they said they are going to retry him. So we'll see what happens. Let me see what you guys have to say. Did I forget to I think I forgot to mark where I left off. Yeah, going back to Nancy Guthrie's case, Boston says it's so very frightening. How could anyone hurt her grandmother? Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, me too. All hours of the night for me. Mark wants to know if the county clerk got fired. I'm assuming she did because she was charged. She was charged with, I won't be able to find it. She was charged with a lot of things, and she was given, 3 years, some probation time. Let me find it. So I'm assuming, that she was fired. In my opinion, if she wasn't fired, she should have been. But I'm just going to go on the assumption that she was. So she pled guilty to charges. I know it told what the charges were. Come on. Ooh, I'm sweating. It's hot in here. Is for misconduct. Misconduct and showing some kind of sealed documents to the press, apparently, allegedly. And I forgot what else. But yeah, I'm assuming that she was fired. Chris says, can you talk about Richard Glossop being freed by Kim Kardashian? Kim Kardashian, how does she have the power to free anybody? Remind me and I will I'll look it up. I'll look it up an article. I haven't heard about that. How could she free somebody? Is she working with like the Innocence Project or something? That whole thing? Yep, Junior says, I think the county clerk wrote a book and got a lot of money. Absolutely, she did. You are correct, sir. Junior said, I'm never surprised at the amount of evil in this world. Who could take the lives of their wife and 22-year-old son? I know. Well, I said, to me, the video that they found, I believe the son took it because they were looking at a dog that they were one of his friend's dogs that they were babysitting, dog sitting or whatever, and I think that something was wrong with the dog, so he was doing like a voice FaceTime call with his friend, and then you could hear allegedly it was Murdaugh Alex's voice in the background yelling at one of their dogs. And this was just about the timestamp of the call and the phone. It was just like literally minutes before when they believe the homicides happened. So to me, that, to me, that's kind of damning evidence, in my opinion. Paula wants to know, are you talking about Kim Kardashian? Said, did she pass the bar? Lord have mercy. Don't get me started on the Kardashians. Hey, Stormy, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Yeah, Stormy says, I can't believe he's getting a new trial. I know. Apparently he is. So what do you guys think? You guys think it'll be the same outcome or not? Junior says, my grandma could tell just by looking at you if you're guilty. Oh yeah, my grandma could too. I think most grandmas are that way. Oh Lord. Let me see. What are you recovering from, Chris? Chris said he's recovering and looking at cases. Well, I hope you're feeling better with whatever you're recovering from. Junior says, I wouldn't want it to happen. Dadgummit. Hold on. I pushed the wrong button. Said I wouldn't want it to happen to me if it was my trial. You wouldn't want what to happen. Stormy says she's rolling her eyes so hard at Murdaugh. Oh, I know. I still can't even stand to look at him. I couldn't stand to look at him when, he was all over the news and the trial and stuff. Paula said this news surprised me. Oh yeah, it surprised me too. Absolutely. Let me see. Yeah, you're right. Junior says they would have to move the trial to Saudi Arabia to find someone who has not heard of it. And most definitely. Yeah, it's going to be, I doubt that they're going to be, this is just my opinion. I doubt that they're going to be able to find somebody, even if they move it to a different city or whatever in South Carolina, or even out of state. This trial was so big, so high profile that, people everywhere have heard of it. But the thing is, they're going to have to find jurors that won't, even though they've heard of it, won't let anything that they've read or heard influence their decision. They'll just rely on just listen strictly to the evidence that's evidence or lack of evidence or whatever that's presented and make their decision purely off of that. Yeah, Paula says, I hope she got fired. You and me both. Stormy says, it will absolutely be the same outcome unless it's rigged. I agree. I think it's going to be the same outcome. But you never know. I don't know. Juries can be fickle. Mustang says, I hope he gets more time. Yeah, because he did. Well, did he get life? He got 2 life sentences the first time. I think. Now, I don't know if it was without the possibility of parole. I'm unsure about that part. So you're talking about Becky Hill. Junior says if she doesn't violate her probation, it will be taken off her record. That's crazy. So if it's taken off her record, that means she could probably get if she felt, if she's not living off the millions or whatever she's making off of her book, that she could, if it's taken off her record, she could get a job again as a court clerk somewhere. Oh, I know. I hated that. Stormy said if I have to hear him say Paw, which is what he called, supposedly the pet name he called his son, one more time with his pathetic fake theatrics. I know. Yeah, and I know because I did watch just the clips that they shot on the news of when he was on the stand and he was supposedly crying, but there was not one tear coming out of his eye. That's a dead giveaway to me. If you're supposed to be up there crying and sniffling, if you don't have any tears coming out of your eyes, come on now. Anyway, all right. Enough about Murdaugh, but we will see what will happen. Oh, get another drink. Let's see what we got next. So we have an solved cold case. Once again, using breakthroughs in DNA. We love these stories. No, I don't want to sign in. Let me find the article. Stormy says, I watched all of that dreadful. You watched the whole trial? Bless your heart. Bless your heart. I could barely watch, like I said, I could barely watch the clips that they showed on the news. All right, of course, it's taking its sweet time to load. Junior says, I wouldn't want someone tainting the jury. I agree. Excuse me. Now, yeah, if she did the other, and apparently the South Carolina Supreme Court agreed that she did enough to possibly potentially taint the jury. I mean, I agree. If she did something that everybody, regardless if you like them or not, or think they're guilty or not, everybody is entitled under our legal system to a fair trial. And if her actions made it not a fair trial, then yeah, he deserved to have a new one. Hold on, let me close out the tab and redo it. Maybe sometimes that works. Let's hope it works this time. So this is a Texas cold case, the Deanna Ogg, and I had not heard of this case until it came up in my Google notifications. All right, so this article, excuse me, is from khou.com. It is from May 6th, so the beginning of May, a couple of weeks ago. Montgomery County, Texas. The long search for answers in the 1986 homicide of 16-year-old Deanna Ogg has led to an arrest nearly 4 decades after her death. Montgomery County Sheriff Wesley Doolittle, that's just a perfect name for a Texas sheriff, Doolittle, announced Wednesday, excuse me, my nose is itching, that Bobby Charles Taylor Sr. is in custody and charged with capital homicide in the case. Hold on, guys. My nose is itching so bad. Okay, maybe that helped. Sorry about that. So investigators say that advances in DNA technology and genealogy helped them finally identify a suspect. Doolittle said, quote, this case has seen many chapters, but through persistence, through working together, we have identified the person responsible for her death, end quote. So Deanna was killed on September 7th, 1986. Authorities said that she was a teenager walking to a store when her life was cut short. Over the years, the case remained active, with detectives continuing to revisit evidence as technology improved, and that persistence paid off. Investigators re-examined evidence through a private lab, and I'm sure I'm going to assume it was Othram, because they do all the good DNA work, and it is, I believe, based in Texas. They developed a DNA profile that led them to a relative of the suspect, and then from there, they narrowed in on Taylor. After obtaining a direct DNA sample, authorities said the match was conclusive, with a level of confidence described as 1 in an octillion. I don't know exactly how much an octillion is. I'm assuming it's a whole bunch. So Taylor had been out of the country in Mexico after fleeing following a conviction in an unrelated felony DWI case. With help from federal partners, including the FBI, he was brought back to the U.S. and into custody in Montgomery County around May 4th of 2026. Authorities said that Taylor lived about 2 miles from the crime scene at the time of Deanna's death, and that he and Deanna did not know each other. So maybe a crime, either maybe he had been kind of watching her and stalking her and then found an opportunity to grab her, or maybe it was just purely a crime of opportunity. The case also includes a painful chapter of wrongful conviction because a different man was previously arrested and later exonerated after DNA evidence was retested around 2000. That development prompted a renewed look at the case, which has intensified in recent years as DNA testing tools have become more widely used. District attorney officials emphasized that Taylor is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court, but said that they intend to pursue the case fully. The district attorney said, quote, "There's a reason that there is no statute of limitations for homicide. It doesn't matter how many pages of the calendar have turned," end quote. For Deanna's family, the announcement brought a mix of grief and release, that bittersweet. In a statement read during the news conference, her mother described a vibrant teenager who loved music, fashion, her family. The family also expressed compassion for Taylor's relatives, acknowledging that while they have had decades to grieve, another family is now beginning that process. They also thanked investigators for never giving up. Cold case detectives and partners with the Texas Rangers spent years reworking the evidence. The sheriff's office said that its cold case unit, along with advancements in DNA databases and genealogy, played a key role in solving the case. Officials say the work is far from over, and investigators are asking anyone with information about Taylor or possible additional crimes to come forward as they continue to build the case. So, yeah, I think I had another article. Did I save it? No, I didn't. But in another article I read that they are asking for, and I can't remember which states, maybe Washington, Oregon, and they're asking officials in a lot of different states to look for similar cases similar to this to see if he may have been involved in those cases. So maybe they're thinking he might have been a serial type predator. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But anyway, so yeah, we like these stories with the happy, bittersweet endings. The perpetrator or alleged perpetrator has been identified, arrested, charged. If not already, he will be charged, and we'll see how it comes out. Man, I'm sweating. It's hot. All right, let me get to your comments. Wipe my face off. I'm sweating so much my glasses are sliding down my nose. All right. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's another one they messed up. Stormy said, "For sure, I wish they would do things right the first time, like with Letitia Stalk, or however you pronounce her name. They messed that one up. Yeah, didn't she get a new trial or is getting a new trial? I haven't kept up with that one. But I know that she got a new trial or something." Junior says, "Do they have the DP in South Carolina?" I don't know. Let me look that up. Somebody may have already answered. Let me check and make sure before I go looking. Oh yeah, Stormy says yes, they do. They do have the DP in South Carolina, but apparently he didn't get the DP. I think they gave him 2 life sentences. I'm assuming maybe life without parole. I can't remember exactly. Now I lost my place in the comments. Hold on. Stormy said, "Did y'all see that Gretchen Fleming's body was found and they arrested someone?" I think I remember reading something about that. Y'all remind me about these things. Gretchen Fleming's. Hold on. Gretchen Fleming. Which one do I want to go? Whichever one comes up first is what we'll go with. One second, I'm gonna see what will load. Oh, sorry. Slurping on my drink there. Well, that one's taking its time to load, so we will see what else we got. Let's see if this one will load. Come on. Bear with me, bear with me. Let me close out the tabs and try again. Oh, come on. I'm trying to find an article that will load. I'm not having any luck. Oh, that's the same one. Ah, it loaded. Okay. Let me see if it will let me screen share. Hold on. May take it a second to pop up, if it will pop up. All right, there it is. So, Preston Pierce arrested and indicted in 2022 disappearance and death of Gretchen Fleming. So it says, and this is from Parkersburg, West Virginia. 3.5 years after Gretchen Fleming vanished in Parker. Oh, come on. Oh, man. I hate it when it does that. Oh, my God. I'm going to throw my computer. Why did it do that? Hold on. I'm getting frustrated. Imagine that. And I have 3 bars on my phone. Okay, we'll try this one. Let's see if this one will work. Cross your fingers. This might be the same one I tried a while ago. No, it's a different one. All right, so this is from WBOY.com. Gretchen Fleming's remains identified. Man indicted for homicide. So after a woman had been missing for nearly 3.5 years, police in Parkersburg have located and identified the remains of Gretchen Fleming, a Wood County woman who went missing in December of 2022, and a man has been indicted in her death. According to officials with the Parkersburg Police Department, on Friday, a grand jury issued an indictment for Preston D. Pierce, 58, originally from Parkersburg, for first-degree homicide, felony homicide, concealment of a body, and kidnapping. At 3:30 p.m. on Friday, U.S. Marshals in the Southern District of West Virginia, in conjunction with the Carolina Fugitive Regional Task Force, arrested Pierce in Asheville, North Carolina. I've been to Asheville. It's a nice place. Beautiful. Officers said that Pierce was the last person to see Fleming and that he was a person of interest in the case since its inception. Pierce is currently being held in the Asheville area and is awaiting extradition to West Virginia. Officers said they never considered Fleming's case a cold one, and a major break happened in September of 2025 when human remains were located in Wirt County. Genetic testing determined that the remains belonged to Fleming. Was that the whole article? Oh, no. So Fleming, a Vienna woman who was 27 at the time she went missing, quote, was last seen in the early morning hours of December 4th, 2022, leaving My Way Lounge in Parkersburg. Her purse and its contents were left behind. In 2024, the FBI and Parkersburg Police Department searched a home in the 1300 block of Division Street, EXT, is that extension, in Parkersburg as a continuation of the investigatory process. They provided no additional information about that search at that time. In May of 2025, the FBI put out a request to the public for information in Fleming's case, but no other new details about the case were shared. So another, on the way to another good ending for this case. We absolutely love that. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn my camera back on. Yeah, she's been missing since. I'm gonna have to quit sharing because it slows everything down. Hold on, stop sharing. Okay, I'll put my. There we go. Paula said, "Are you talking to me?" Paula said, "Did you see the video I sent you? Did you send it to me in Facebook Messenger?" I have not, but I will check. I will watch it. Thank you. Oh, goodness. Let's hope not. Junior says, my grandma would say, if your nose itches, you're going to kiss a fool. No, I've kissed too many fools in my lifetime. I'm too old for that now. I'm too old for that now. Ooh, that's nice. Junior says it's 69 degrees in Adrian, Michigan. Man, it's getting warm here in Arkansas. It was the humidity has come up. It was like in the 80s, but the heat index was like 91 today. But the sun wasn't out. It was cloudy, so it made it a little more tolerable. Hey, Doodle. There's my friend Doodle. Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it, ma'am. Yes, Chris says, welcome back, Doodlebug. We always love having our Doodle here. Let me see. Boston, what are you being ugly about? So I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be ugly like that. I never am until I hear her name. On Facebook. Okay, I will check it, Miss Paula. Absolutely. Hey, JP. There's a friend, JP. He says, got music in my ear. It suits. Hello, all. Hello, JP. It's always good to have JP here. Good to see you, sir. All right. I think I'm caught up. All right, we'll see what we got next. Oh, so this is our featured missing person for the night, or for this live stream for the night. This is Maria Espinal. Hopefully it won't take 2 days for the stuff to load. But I'm afraid it will. Oh, no, it loaded. All right, so this is Maria Deanna Espinal. She's been missing since December 13th, 2020 from Fort Myers, Florida. She is classified as endangered missing. She is an Hispanic female. She was 65 years old when she went missing. She'll be 71 years old as of 2026. When she went missing, she was 5'5" to 5'6" tall and 150 pounds, with graying blonde hair and brown eyes. Her ears are pierced. Her last known clothing was a light green / blue sweater over a white shirt gray sweatpants, and black Croc shoes. And she does suffer from dementia, so that makes it even more urgent. Not a whole lot of information, but Maria was seen on New York Avenue in Fort Myers, Florida on December 13th, 2020. It says she got into a verbal argument at around 12:30 a.m., then left the residence on foot. So I'm just going to go on the assumption that it was her residence. It doesn't say who she was arguing with. It was a spouse, a significant other, a friend, what that situation was. But she was last seen walking on Luckett Road east of Ortiz Avenue. Her family stated that she had left before, but she would always come back on her own within a few hours. But this time after she had this argument and then left the residence on foot and was seen on these roads, she's never been seen or heard from again. It says that an extensive search turned up no indication of her whereabouts. Her case remains unsolved. So if you do have any information, call the Fort Myers Police Department at 239-321-7700. And I think I was able to find an article with some statements from her family. Once again, if it'll load. I'll check your comments while we're waiting for it to load. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Yeah, getting Stott. Yeah, we were talking about the Letitia Stott. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Yep. Thank you, Mustang. There is Miss Doodlebug's channel, and I don't know if that's the her true crime channel. She has a true crime channel and the Homestead Shenanigans channel. So if you ever need to relax, go watch some cute critters. Please check out Homestead Shenanigans. See some cute little squirrels. You never know what you're going to see over there. Stormy said Gannon did not deserve what happened to him. She's an evil woman. Absolutely. Thank you so much. JP said he shared it to Facebook. Thank you so much. Oh. Yes, I always forget about the hype button. Thank you, Chris, for reminding me about that. Chris said the hype button is another way to get it out there for everyone to see, plus the hearts on the side. Yeah. Yes, the hype button. I always forget about the hype button. Yeah, it's somewhere down there, somewhere's down there. Oh, you're most welcome, Doodle. Oh, you're fine, Mustang. You're fine. All right. Okay, let me see if my article loaded. Yes, it did. Okay. So this article is from December 2020. So around the time that it actually came out the day after she was went missing. Went missing. December 14th, 2020. Police search for missing Fort Myers excuse me, a missing Fort Myers woman with dementia. Fort Myers Police Department was actively searching with canine unit dogs for a missing woman who has dementia. Maria Delania Espinal, 65, was reported missing early Sunday morning and is considered missing and endangered due to her condition. She was last seen walking on Luckett Road east of Ortiz Avenue. Once again, she was wearing a light green / blue sweater, gray sweatpants, and black Croc style shoes. Her daughters are now in search of their mother, and they hope to find her safe and bring her home before the holidays. Her daughter Elizabeth Berry said, quote, "We know that she's a fighter and she's going to be back home to us. We're hopeful that she will come back home," end quote. Berry said that her mother disappeared a separate time a couple of weeks before this last time, but she said this time is different. She said, quote, she was able to come back on her own the last time. She went around the block. She came back on her own. It lasted 2 to 3 hours, end quote. But Maria's family is holding out hope that she will return home safe. Her daughter said, quote, "We are hopeful that we are going to be able to find her. She's resilient, strong. She's been always very athletic and has always come out on top," end quote. So once again, if you have seen or know her whereabouts, contact the Fort Myers PD at 239-321-7700. And her daughter says, quote, "We are begging to please help us. It's holiday season. Everyone wants to spend time with family, just like everyone has been spending holiday season. We just want her home with us," end quote. And another one of her daughters, Jessica, said, quote, "Please bring her back to us," end quote. It just breaks my heart. So once again, she's been missing almost 5 years now. She went missing, I believe, on December 13th of 2020. So this December will be, this December will be 6 years. I keep forgetting it's 2026. So almost 6 years now. So sad. Let me see. Get down to Doodles says she has such a kind face. She does. Very beautiful. Just looks just so warm and kind, and just breaks my heart. All of the missing persons break my heart, but it seems like when it's kids or older people, and then she has dementia, the most vulnerable of us, it's just makes it even worse. JP made it back. Good to know you made it back. Yeah, Paula said Al goes live at 1:15 Eastern time, so it'll be around 12. So he's late a lot of times, so between 12 at 12:30 Central time, which I'm in Central time. So, yep, it is 1:15 Eastern time. What's okay? JP says it's okay, I guess. What's okay? You don't have hot buttons? You should have. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know a lot about the hype buttons. I don't know if you have to have certain criteria before you can get a hype button. I didn't know that I had one until like when I looked at my notifications, my YouTube notifications for the channel, it said so and so hyped the video or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. I appreciate anything and everything you guys do. If it's, liking, commenting, sharing, hyping, whatever. I appreciate all of it. Yes, 12:15 Central. Let me see. Let me get caught up and we will go. Okay, so Doodle says she thinks that monetized channels get the hype. Okay. Well, see, that's unfair. Yeah, because JP says he doesn't want to be monetized. I think all channel, if they're going to do the hype button, I think whether you're monetized or not, because a lot of channels aren't monetized, I think they should get the hype button. Just my opinion. Hey, UCC, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Well, where are you at? Oh, don't tell me I'm fixing to freeze up on my laptop. Oh, come on. Now I'm going to have to find the comment. Oh, is it up there? Okay, it's just not showing up. UCC says you got to try and drop by Southern Gal in the Church of Al early Sunday a.m. Yes, I will. I always try to make it. Now, I usually, most of the time I do make it, and then sometimes I end up falling asleep. Once again, not because Dave is in any way boring. It's just I'm old. Oh, see, now it finally switched to my computer. I'm old and I fall asleep easily. You mean monetizing it? JP says it seems like a hassle. It can't, I don't know, it can be a hassle. Of course, with somebody who's not very, I'm semi tech savvy. You just got to do a lot of verifications and stuff, you know, basically prove who you are and blah, blah, blah to you know, to monetize the channel. But once you get everything done and they approve everything, there's not really anything that you have to do. Now you do have to watch. That's why I'm very careful with how I word things, because if they say, you know, the YouTube bad words that they don't like, they will like demonetize. Not the whole channel. Well, they'll like demonetize a video or a live stream or whatever. If, you know, you say certain things. We know the YouTube bad words that they don't like. So Mustang says you have to have a long live for it to work. I've tried to hype music, but it's not long enough apparently. See, like I said, if they're gonna do the hype thing, they should just do it across the board for everybody, no matter how, if it's a short, if it's a long form video, a live stream, whether you're monetized or not monetized, they should just do it for everybody. That's just my 2 cents. Anyway. Yeah, she can find it. JP says, can Mustang drop the link to the song The Few Who Stayed, not for playing here, but so people can go hear it? Yeah, yeah, if you can tell her where to find it, absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. All right, caught up. Okay, did she find it? Okay, Chris says the hype button is for channels that have 500 to 500,000 subscribers. Wow. See, like I said, that's not fair. I think everybody should have it. Everybody. Okay. You know, I haven't felt. UCC says mosquito season has officially arrived in North Mississippi. I haven't seen or felt any mosquitoes lately, or yet here in Arkansas. But now I don't go out after dark unless I have to. So, but yeah, they get really, because obviously in the country, I live out on the farm, so obviously they're very bad around here, especially when the farmers are planting or getting ready to plant right now. But when they plant the fields and then they put the water on it, the mosquitoes get really, really bad around here. Anyway. Okay, let's see what we have next. No, I do not want to put Doodlebug in timeout. I'm just trying to hit my blue star. There we go. Okay, so we have our stupid criminal of the night, guys. So let's see what this almost said this numbnuts did. Just the picture in general just cracks me up. So this came up in my Google newsfeed. I think maybe for our next kind of fun live stream that we do, we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get some videos together of just stupid criminals, stupid things, and just play the videos, and we can laugh and comment on them. Let me know if that would be something you guys would be interested in. But apparently this gentleman here that you see with the Easter Bunny helmet, and this came from truecrimenews.com. So motorcyclist and bunny helmet allegedly led police, and I'm not making light of the fact that he led police on a high-speed chase and endangered people. That's definitely not to be made fun of. So I'm glad they did get him off the street, but just the fact that he's wearing the bunny, I don't know what the thought process was behind the bunny helmet. So he led police on a high-speed chase across county lines. And of course, this is from Florida. From North Weeki-Wachee, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Florida. No. Yes, I agree. Okay. So a motorcyclist is facing several charges in connection with allegedly leading police on a high-speed chase across county lines on May 3rd. So this was after Easter. Maybe he is still celebrating Easter. So on May 3rd, troopers observed a motorcycle with an unreadable upside-down license plate. So not only did he have the helmet thing going on, he had an unreadable upside-down license plate. He was attempting to pass cars at a high speed. Police attempted to stop the motorcyclist, later identified as 29-year-old Dalton Hubbert, but he allegedly sped up to 120 miles an hour. Now, this is the serious part. He ran several red lights to avoid being pulled over. So this dumbass, excuse my language, put God knows how many people's lives in danger. Other pedestrians, police who were chasing him, going 120 miles an hour, running red lights to avoid being pulled over. So the chase continued across county lines before Hubbert eventually pulled over. And then he was wearing a helmet with bunny ears, and he also allegedly had a handgun. So Hubbert was arrested and transported to Pasco County, Florida, to be booked into jail. He is facing charges of fleeing and evading law enforcement, reckless driving, driving more than 50 miles per hour over the speed limit, and use or display of a weapon during the commission of a felony. So, guys, this is why I don't like, one of the reasons I don't like to be out driving, especially on the freeway, because I've watched so many, and we do watch On Patrol Live, which comes on Friday, it's actually on now, Friday and Saturday nights. And then, you know, a lot of videos on YouTube of these high-speed chases that just scares. It's amazing. It's just amazing, and that more people, thankfully, you know, more people don't get seriously injured or killed because of these, once again, excuse my language, dumbasses that for stupid stuff. I mean, not even, you know, maybe their driver's license expired. They don't have insurance. They maybe have a warrant for just something minor, and they go on these high-speed chases and just put so many lives in danger, and it just irks me to no end. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but yeah, so this fine gentleman here got pulled over. I still don't understand the I question the bunny rabbit helmet. So if you guys have any ideas, please let me know. Anyway, so that is our stupid criminal of the night. Yeah, Mustang. She's up in Northwest Arkansas. Says we have mosquitoes bad here too. Yeah, they're probably bad here. Like I said, I just try not to go out after it gets dark because they are thick around here when it gets dark. JP says he likes to time himself out. What? Don't do that. I have warning for what? UCC said, good, you have warning to get ready. Oh, don't get me started on Florida Man. Chris says, just search Florida Man being silly videos. Oh God, I do not want to offend anybody from Florida, but good God Almighty. They're stupid, and then there's Florida stupid. But then again, I'm sure they say that about Arkansas too. There's Arkansas stupid, There's Florida stupid. There's every state has stupid. It's not just Florida. Every state has stupid. Yeah, Mustang says, dang, I know. And I wonder why he was running. Aside from the fact that he was carrying a firearm. Now, maybe he wasn't licensed to carry a firearm. I don't know Florida's firearm policies. Maybe he had warrants. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it's probably just something stupid and minor that if he would have just stopped and taken a ticket or whatever they were going to do to him, go to court, they would have probably let him go. But now if he had serious crimes, a warrant for a serious crime, it would have been a different story. But it was probably for just something just stupid. It always is. Like I said, I watched On Patrol live enough for how many ever years it's been on to know that most of the time when these dumb people run, it's just for stupid stuff. Anyway. So UCC has a fun fact. It said the Playboy Bunny costume was designed by a woman, and an African-American woman at that. Excellent. So that is our fun fact of the night. JP says that guy stole my Easter idea. JP, I think you're a creative, you're a musician, you're an artist. I think you could have come up with a better costume than that. Yeah, Bad Bunny. Oh. Yeah, UCC says biker bunny equals major league dumbassery. I like that. Dumbassery. Oh, goodness. I like that. I'm going to use that word. Oh. Yes, I have. Mustang asked me if I've heard of Arkansas State Trooper Bird. Yes, I have. I watched. There are a lot of his videos of him. I think there might be a YouTube channel that shows just strictly videos of Trooper Bird. Yes, I have heard of Trooper Bird. Yeah, I agree. JP says the way people drive is astounding. I don't go anywhere unless I absolutely have to. Can't stand bumper. Oh, me either. I can't stand tailgaters. That is my number one pet peeve is tailgaters. Oh. JP says my truck will crush most cars. They just don't get it. You got a jacked up truck? You got a monster truck? I think it's James Bird. I think James is his first name, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he does wonderful pits. Mustang says Arkansas State Patrol Trooper Bird is a legend for pit maneuvers. Yes, and also talking about watching On Patrol Live, and it comes for anybody who may want to watch it. It's on a Reels channel on a Friday and Saturday nights. But they actually are in a town in Arkansas, in Hazen, which is just down the road from me. And they have Sheriff Taylor, or not Sheriff Taylor, Chief Taylor. He is excellent at doing pit maneuvers also. So if you go, On Patrol Live does have a YouTube channel. And I think they do have a section just for Hazen PD that showcases some of their pit maneuvers. Chief Taylor is very good at doing pit maneuvers. Anyway, but yes, Trooper Bird is a legend. Absolutely. JP said there's Nevada stupid too. I'm telling you, they're stupid everywhere. Stupid everywhere. Yeah, see, now I can't think. Let me see if I can find it. I want to say James. I'm just going to put Trooper Bird, Arkansas, and see what comes up. Trooper Bird, Arkansas State Police. Jacob. It's Jacob Bird. I was wrong. It's Jacob Bird. BYRD. Jacob Byrd, the Pit King of Arkansas. So there's a YouTube channel called Legendary Troopers. And apparently it has a bunch of his pit maneuvers on there, so you can check that out. It's called Legendary Troopers. Let's see what this says. If it'll come up. No, I don't want Bing.com. And he is actually the executive assistant to the director at Arkansas at the ASP. And he served as director from 2016 to 2020. So yeah, just check him out. You can just Google, either go to YouTube and just put in Jacob, Trooper Jacob Byrd, JACOB BYRD, and you can find all his, a lot of his videos. Yeah, it's Jacob Byrd. Yeah. Doodle says, Lord, if he had a warrant, talking about this numbnuts here, he would, surely he wouldn't wear that helmet. Criminals aren't smart. Thank goodness he didn't, but why wear it? Like that is a target. I know. I would think that even if he wasn't, and obviously he had to have done something, caused some infraction for them to, because they have to have probable cause to pull you over. I mean, it can be anything from having a light out, not using the turn signal, but whatever. They can, you can be pulled over. But I wonder if it did make him more of a target to be pulled over just because of the helmet. Yeah, and like Doodle said, if he had a warrant, you think he would want to keep as low profile, not bring attention to himself. But like I said, criminals aren't known to be that smart most of the time. Anyway, oh, sorry, stuff is popping up. JP said, if the cops want me, they can have me. I'll offer a cup of coffee and put my hands above my head. I know, I don't know. Once again, from watching, and then when the original Cops was on back in the day, I watched that all the time. And then with this On Patrol Live, people just act stupid. Even if you don't think you've done anything wrong, you pull over, you do what usually they ask for your license, registration, insurance, whatever. They will tell you what they pulled you over for, blah, blah, blah. And most of the time, if you cooperate and don't start running your mouth and being a smart ass, if it's nothing, I mean, they'll give you a warning or they'll give you your ticket or whatever and send you on your way. But when people start running their mouth, it's another thing about if you start running your mouth and being a butthole and being sassy and just questioning everything and don't give the police officers, a chance to explain, just, and if you think that they are giving you a ticket in the wrong, that's what court is for. You just go to court, you fight it, and you win or you lose. Anyway, Doodle said, that would have been cute. Doodle said, I could have used that for the COVID. That would have worked. That would have worked. Oh goodness. Hold on. A whole bunch of comments just popped up. Let me see here. Mustang says Trooper Byrd does have his own channel. Do you know the name of it? UCC says they stole dumbassery. I'm still going to use it. Yes, I love that too. Doodle says, I stole Far's piss farting. She always says, I know. I love that. Yeah, the ASP does have its own YouTube channel. Absolutely. What? I don't think so. Junior said, did I delete something by accident? I dropped my phone. I don't know. I don't see that. Usually I can see if something, a comment or something has been deleted. I haven't seen that anything has been deleted. Oh, okay. Mustang said you hid JP, but she fixed it. It's okay. Everything's good. I've accidentally hit the wrong button here when I'm scrolling and trying to do stuff and accidentally put people in timeout. Yes, Doodle says absolutely. Criminals are idiots. Yeah, the plate was upside down. So let's see. Yeah, maybe that's why they stopped him. Maybe they just simply stopped him because his license plate was upside down, and they're probably going to say, "Hey, fix your license plate, go on about your business." And then no, he had to take off running, driving, riding, and cause a whole bunch of ruckus and dumbassery. Oh my God. And I'm sure the carrying the firearm didn't help unless, now I don't know if, does anybody know if Florida has a concealed carry? Can you conceal carry in Florida or open carry? Either one. I know in Arkansas that you can open carry, but you can also, if you have a permit, you can have a CCP concealed carry permit. I don't know about Florida though. Yeah, that's true. Doodle says most law enforcement give warnings because they don't want the paperwork. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, attitude goes a long way. Like I said, if you just stop, you do what they ask you to do, they will explain to you what you're being pulled over for, whatever. But now when you start sassing them and being a jackass and giving them lip, you know, I've heard many law enforcement say, you know, you're going to talk your, I mean, you know, this can go one of two ways. If you want to keep running your mouth, you can get a ticket. Or if you just want to be quiet and let me explain, you just get a warning or whatever. Or if you want to keep running your mouth, you can go to jail, you know. So just keep your mouth shut. Like I said, if you want to fight it, if you think they were in the wrong, that's what court is for. Yeah, Doodle says allegedly. Allegedly, of course. Oh, goodness. Mustang says, I guess Trooper Bird's channel is part of the ASP channel. Yeah, they may have, the ASP channel may have like a playlist of his pits, of his videos. Hey, there's Far. Far said, hey, all I heard Doodle was piss farting. Yep, Doodle is piss farting around. Yeah, at least I haven't seen Echoes tonight. Doodle said, at least y'all didn't toss my brother out. Haven't seen him tonight, but he's got, he and Mrs. Echoes have a new grandbaby. So they're, well, they're probably home by now, but they went down to Texas when the grandbaby was born. And so they got some spoiling time in with the new grandbaby. So now I can laugh at Echoes and call him Grandpa again. No, this is first. No, second time. Third, no, one, two, yeah, second time. I'm trying to keep track of all my great nieces and nephews. So next time Echoes pops in, you can call him Grandpa. No, it's a 1, 2, 3, fourth time he's a grandpa. Chris says, Far, please stay out of trouble. Why? Why stay out of trouble? It's fun to be in trouble. The good kind of trouble. Yeah, that's a good point. Junior says criminals are not that smart, as smart as they think they are, like Tom Cruise when they are really like Barney Fife. Exactly. And it just kills me how when some of these people get stopped, they think they know the law better than law enforcement. Think that they know the laws better than the officers do, apparently. Chris says, in Oz, you cannot have a pew-pew. Yeah. I think, what countries can you, besides the US, can you have pew-pews? I don't think in like the UK, like in England, I don't think you can have pew-pews. I don't know about other countries. I don't even think whatever they call the law enforcement in the UK, can they even, I don't think they can they carry pew-pews, or do they have something else? Chris asked Doodle if she wanted to be on the naughty list, and Doodle said, well, no, but I'm sure I'm on someone's anyway. Oh, well. Yep, Mustang says, congratulations to Echoes and Mrs. Echoes. Yeah, new grandma and grandpa. Yep, a new baby. A little girl named Sophie. I have to agree with you, Chris. Chris says, I don't think Tom Cruise was smart. Yeah. I don't know. I liked him in Top Gun. But anything else I really seen him in is just, you know. UCC says, according to my gran, the 11th commandment is thou shalt not get caught. Oh, goodness. I like that. Okay. I think I'm caught up, and we will get to our next story. Let me get another drink. See what we got next. Okay, so apparently, or there has been, yes, I agree. Mustang says Tom Cruise is overrated, in my opinion. Yeah, like I said, I loved him in Top Gun. I just loved that movie in general. But yeah. Now there was that one John Grisham movie that he was in. I can't remember which one it was. Was it The Firm, the one that he was in? I think he was, or am I thinking about somebody else? I think he was in a John Grisham movie. He was okay in that one. All right, so let's get to Kristen Smart. Apparently, there's been some developments in her case. So apparently, they did a search. So she's been missing and presumed, and somebody was convicted, arrested, convicted for her presumed homicide. So this article is from CNN.com. 30 years after Kristen Smart vanished, a new search renews hope for answers. Here is what we know. And this came out on May 9th. So it's been 30 years since Kristen Smart's family last saw her smile light up a room. The college freshman vanished from California Polytechnic State University's San Luis Obispo campus over Memorial Day weekend in 1996, sparking a decades-long investigation that led to the trial and conviction in 2022 of Paul Flores for her homicide. But even after years of searching, authorities have never recovered her body, and she was declared deceased in 2002. Authorities said Friday new soil testing at the home of Flores's mother had returned some signs of human remains. The search was concluded Saturday, but investigators did not recover her body, her remains, according to the sheriff's office. The agency did not elaborate further Saturday on the search at the home, only saying that any evidence recovered would be sent for evaluation to aid in the investigation. San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Ian Parkinson said in a news conference, quote, we believe that based on what we're looking at evidence-wise, that human remains were there at one time or still there. He goes on to say, we can't call it Kristen, but, we think there's evidence to support human remains, end quote. The new search at Susan Flores' home is the latest sign investigators remain committed to finding answers in the Smart case. Parkinson said, quote, "Until we have Kristen, everything is still wide open," end quote. So Susan Flores's Arroyo Grande home has been searched multiple times during the 30-year investigation, but Parkinson said there have since been advances in the soil science and the ground penetrating radar investigators are now using to scour the property. Parkinson said Flores is a person of interest in the case and always has been. I'm assuming they're talking about the mother. But his office has no lawful reason to detain her. She has not been accused of wrongdoing by prosecutors in the case. Elizabeth's family has said they feel as if Paul Flores continues to, quote, "stand in the way of our daughter being returned to us," end quote. The family said in an open letter on their website, quote, "We continue to pray for the day when we can finally lay her to rest in the presence of those who love her," end quote. So here's what we know and how Elizabeth's case has unfolded, or not Elizabeth, Kristen, sorry, has unfolded over the years. So investigators swarmed Flores's mother's home this week, combing through the packed garage and examining the deck. They had a search warrant permitting them to return to the home based on investigative leads and evidence, according to the sheriff, as well as information that was derived from what we have to deem as a witness, end quote. Parkinson said this was the first time investigators had been back to the backyard during his tenure. He said, quote, "It's a very small area back there to search, but also, as you can see, it's quite crowded with stuff," end quote. Tim Nelligan, an expert in soil vapor testing, told the Associated Press on Thursday that he was on the premises gathering samples in Susan Flores's yard as well as a neighbor's yard. Nelligan declined to discuss the investigation, but said that his team has, in general, come up with a methodology to assess soil vapor and its relation to human cadaver decomposition, end quote. On Friday, Parkinson said they had a search warrant for the exterior of the neighbor's home, so investigators could access the other side of Flores's fence and the soil. The sheriff's office remains fully committed to finding Smart, it said on Saturday, while announcing the latest search at the home had ended. Paul Flores and his family have been at the center of the search for Smart since the earliest stages of the investigation into her disappearance. The search at Susan Flores's house is going to be, quote, "extremely thorough and could take days," Parkinson told podcast host Adam Montiel on his show Up Plus Adam this week. He said, quote, "We have proven already that Paul did it. We believe that Kristen at one time was on Paul Flores's father's property. We know that she's been moved, so where she moved to, we're hunting that down," end quote. At Friday's news conference, the sheriff expanded on what he told Montiel. He said, quote, "Kristen has been moved, and we don't know how many times she's been moved and to where she's been moved. And so just because somebody's house was searched does not mean that we're not going back there, because she could have been moved back there thinking that it's a safe place," end quote. God, it just breaks my heart thinking that this poor girl, just what happened to her. And then if they've been, like they said, could have been moving the body, her remains here, there, and yonder. It's just horrible to think about. So CNN reached out to attorneys who previously represented the family and to Susan Flores, but did not hear back. Officials have said that Paul Flores, who is a 19-year-old freshman at the time that Smart disappeared, was the last person to see her alive after they walked back to their dorms from a party. But it would take decades for authorities to gather enough proof to charge him with Smart's homicide. The university's police initially led the investigation into Smart's disappearance. Her parents, Stan and Denise, also spent weeks searching for their daughter on their own. Her father posted flyers with a photo of Kristen, who was tall and blonde, throughout the town. He also gathered his own search party to comb nearby hillsides and lakes, and even enlisted the help of a psychic to aid in the search, according to local news reports. Then, 2 months after Kristen vanished, investigators zeroed in on a man they would later identify as Flores. Flores's account of the night that Smart disappeared had changed. Cal Poly Police Chief Tom Mitchell told reporters at the time, and when the college student was interviewed by police, he had a black eye and scrapes and bruises on his knee. Shortly after their initial interview with Flores, the freshman retained a lawyer and stopped cooperating with investigators. The San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office assumed the lead investigative role in the case a month after she disappeared. During a canine search of campus in the weeks following Smart's disappearance, multiple cadaver dogs alerted in Flores's dorm room. This is according to what the sheriff told the San Luis Obispo County Telegram Tribune in August of 1996. The alerts, coupled with Flores's shifting narratives and injuries, led authorities to declare Smart's disappearance a criminal case, and they named Flores as a person of interest. But they were still missing a key piece of evidence, obviously Kristen's body. Flores and his family were subpoenaed to testify before a grand jury to get statements on the record, but without physical evidence, investigators did not believe they had enough to charge him with Smart's homicide. In an interview with CNN 3 years after their daughter went missing, Stan and Denise Smart said that they hoped that they would one day be able to lay their daughter to rest. It's heartbreaking. And they shared a message for Paul Flores. Denise Smart said, quote, "We will have a resolution, and he will wish that he'd had come forward much sooner," end quote. Her husband added, quote, "We believe that he is definitely involved. The best outcome would be that we would be able to find our daughter's remains, and we would be able to have some justice," end quote. So for decades, Flores remained a person of interest in Smart's disappearance. And for decades, billboards with Smart's smiling face stood like sentinels along Highway 101, silently urging anyone with information to come forward. Driving past the billboard would serve as a periodic reminder. After decades, authorities still hadn't found Kristen. Chris Lambert, a podcaster who grew up in the area, said in the first episode of his show called Your Own Backyard. Years later, after reading a Los Angeles Times article on Smart's disappearance, Lambert said that he was stunned to realize that he lived near many of the locations in the case. So he began retracing Kristen's final steps. He interviewed her family and even spoke with investigators who had worked on her case for years. With each episode, his podcast gained traction, and Kristen's name and the details surrounding her disappearance drew renewed attention. Meanwhile, investigators continued to work the case. After decades with few signs of outward progress, authorities had their first public breakthrough in 2020. The sheriff's office obtained a warrant to monitor then 43-year-old Paul Flores' cell phone and messages. In February of 2020, detectives served a search warrant at his home, as well as the homes of his sister, mother, and father, according to a news release from the sheriff's office. They also recovered physical evidence from Flores' home in April of that year, according to the sheriff's office. Excuse me. Then a year later, in March of 2021, detectives served a warrant at the Arroyo Grande home of Flores' father, Ruben. Detectives used ground-penetrating radar and dug the property using hand tools, according to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's department said in a statement, quote, "Additional evidence related to the homicide of Kristen Smart is discovered at the site," end quote. Prosecutors would later allege that Ruben, the father, helped his son hide Kristen's body under the family's deck before relocating her remains. On April 13th of 2021, almost exactly 25 years since Kristen Smart disappeared, authorities arrested Paul Flores and charged him with her homicide. Ruben Flores, the father, was also arrested and charged with allegedly aiding Flores and hiding Kristen's body. A body investigators had still not recovered, but they now believed their case was strong enough to bring before a jury. So Paul and Ruben Flores' trials began in July of 2022. They lasted for nearly 3 months. Prosecutors argued that Paul Flores essayed or attempted to essay Kristen and took her life in his dorm room before enlisting his father to allegedly help him hide her body under the deck of his home. Deputy District Attorney Christopher Perrell wrote in documents filed in the case, quote, "Dozens of women have recounted Paul Flores's essay assaults and predatory behavior that document his 25 years as a serial essayist." 25 years. Perrell later told jurors during Ruben Flores' trial that searches of his home turned up soil samples that tested positive for human blood. Throughout the trials, the attorneys representing the Flores family vehemently asserted their client's innocence, repeatedly citing a lack of eyewitnesses and evidence. But in October 2022, 2 separate juries reached verdicts. Paul Flores was found guilty of first-degree homicide and later sentenced to 25 years to life in prison, but his father, Ruben, was acquitted of the charges against him. Outside of the courtroom, Ruben Flores told reporters, quote, "It's too bad the system works that way on feelings instead of facts," end quote. He added that he felt bad for Kristen's family because they never got a true answer as to what happened to their daughter. Well, allegedly, if you helped, you could have. Anyway, Wednesday's search of Susan Flores' home renewed the hope for those answers in the small town of San Luis Obispo, which had been rattled by Smart's disappearance for decades. Parkinson said throughout his time as sheriff, he has repeatedly cautioned the Smart family to manage their expectations and not get their hopes up. Still, he acknowledged, quote, "There is no closure, there's justice, and there's some form of peace, that they have their daughter back, and that's all you can do," end quote. After decades, Smart's family and the investigators working to bring her home remain cautiously optimistic. Her family said in a statement posted on their website, quote, "For 30 years, we have lived with the pain no family should have to endure, as heartache, frustration, and setbacks have woven themselves into our everyday lives," end quote. They also said they will continue to be uplifted by the example that Kristen set. They said, quote, "She was not one to give up," end quote. Man, that just breaks my heart. So hopefully they will hopefully sooner than later, they will find her remains and be able to bring her home and lay her to rest. I just feel so sorry, obviously, for her family. And to wait 30 years. One day or 1 year, 1 day, 1 hour is too long, but man, for just 30, 40, 50 years, I can't imagine, just cannot imagine. Yeah, that was going back to we're talking about Tom Cruise. Chris said Tom Cruise is great in Mission Impossible. Yeah, I did like the Mission Impossible movies. They cast him as that. UCC said casting Cruise as 6'4" blonde Jack Reacher ticked me off. I didn't know he was cast in the Jack Reacher. I've heard of the books and the movies and stuff, but I've not read the books. I've not watched any of the movies. UCC says they read all the Jack Reacher novel or books. What, was I muted? What? Can you hear me? I hope I wasn't muted. It shows my microphone is on. Oh, dang, I'm dropping stuff everywhere over here. I think I watched like maybe the first 1 or 2 Mission Impossible movies. I don't know. Was I muted? Can y'all hear me? Can everybody else hear me? Is it just UCC? Okay, Mustang says she can hear me. Okay, maybe, I'm sorry, maybe it was just UCC. Oh, so UCC says it's me. Nothing is working on the internet either. Glad my birthday is almost here. Oh, do we got a almost birthday person? Hold on. Oh, let me make sure she's back. And we'll get the birthday dance videos. Miss Farr made it back. Farr says happy almost birthday. Yeah, Farr says praying her remains are found and returned so family can bury her. Absolutely. This thing says praying she is found. Yes, ma'am. Did UCC make it back? I wanted to do the birthday dance videos. Sorry. See my vape smoke. Choking on my vape over here. Did UCC make it back? We'll do the dance videos. Let me find them. Hold on. Let me take that down. I don't want to do dance videos over. Oh wait, let me put myself back in the corner. Put baby in the corner. Here we go. And we got Snoopy. All right, there is UCC's early birthday dance videos. Happy birthday, happy early birthday to UCC. Right, put that back up. I think that might have been the last. Oh, what did I do? Goodness gracious. I'm over here pushing buttons. Watch out. Yeah, I do too. Mustang says she loves Snoopy. I do too. I love the whole Peanuts gang, but I love Snoopy. Snoopy and Woodstock. Yep, that was the last one we had. So anything else? So what were some of the other things? We're going 2 hours, not too bad. Chris had mentioned something. I don't know if Chris is still here. Is Chris still here? Y'all remind me of some things that were mentioned before that y'all might want to talk about. Chris had mentioned, was it Richard something? Richard Goslip? Let me see if I can find, see what he's talking about. And Kim Kardashian, one of the Kardashians. Not Richard Gosling. Oh, Richard, excuse me, Richard Glossip. Let me see what this is all about. If anything will load once again. Why did it quit? Dumpster fire, dumpster fire. My pizza didn't agree with me for supper, apparently. Okay, here, let's see if this will load. Waiting. Need like that please stand by thing. Come on. I know. Did it come up? Yeah. Mustang said we're supposed to have storms tomorrow, most of next week here in Arkansas. I know. And I'm because I was hoping work was going to be good because I do Spark deliveries, grocery deliveries for Wally World. Because next week from Monday is what, Labor Day, and usually towards the end of the week and the weekend before a holiday, it's really busy, good orders, grocery deliveries going out. So I'm hoping it's not raining so I can get out and deliver some a lot of groceries and make some money. But I'm not delivering groceries in the pouring down rain in the storms. Sorry. Yeah, my bones and my joints can feel the rain coming already. That's what happens when you get old. Come on. So let's see. Just trying to get an article to load. May not work. I was going to read about this Richard Glossop. Oh, come on. Let me close the tabs and start a new one. Yes, Mustang says hopefully you can have a great delivery weekend. That will be a 4-day weekend. Yes, I'm telling you, the weekends, holiday weekends, and usually that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up to holidays, especially during the summer, I can make some mucho money delivering groceries. All right, let me try this one more time. It's even taking a while for the search to come up. I'm going to try the New York Times. That always throws me behind the paywall. You try CNN, it usually comes up. So this is Oklahoma, from Oklahoma? Or he was just in prison in Oklahoma? Oh, come on. Well, nothing's loading as usual. Man, irritates me. Oh, I thought that was a new comment. Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna have to give up. I'll have to look at that and see what that's all about. Try this one. I'm just clicking on links and seeing what loads. Nothing's loading. Anyway, I will take a look at it and maybe do a video about it, see what that's all about. It intrigues me that somehow Kim Kardashian, whichever Kardashian is involved in it. All right, so if anybody has any last comments, questions, thoughts, whatever, please put them in chat. We'll be back Monday for Miss In Person Monday, and I believe we're going to do Minnesota Monday. So probably Minneapolis. St. Paul is probably going to be the cities that we cover, or that we feature missing persons from, because I'm sure they probably have around that area has the most missing person cases. So I will get all that slideshow done, research put together, same bat time, same bat channel, unless something comes up unforeseen. So we'll be there Monday, 8:30 Central. I will do my best to. I've got to get some. I may do that if it's raining and I can't, and I'm not working. I'll try to get some pre-recorded. Get some videos recorded to upload during the week, like I usually do. I did upload one the other day, an MMIP, a missing cold case. Please check it out, watch it if you haven't. Give it a like, leave a comment, share it, do all the things, hype it if you can hype it, to get more awareness. So other than that, I think that is it. Thank you, Mustang. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who was in chat. Thank you to the lurkers. We love our lurkers. Thank you to Replay Crew. We love you guys. Please leave a comment below once again to let me know that you are Replay Crew. And for anybody who is in chat after the live stream ends, you can go in, please, and leave a comment. Even if it's just an emoji, that also helps. Comments. YouTube likes comments, apparently. The more likes and comments that a video gets, whether they be negative or positive comments, a comment's a comment, helps the algorithm. So please do that. Have a good rest of your weekend. Love you guys. Should have been multitasking. No, there it is. Love you guys. Be safe, be kind, just be a good human, take care of each other, and don't be stupid. Don't be one of those stupid criminals. Don't engage in any dumbassery during the week until we see each other again in a couple of days. Anyway, I'm going to quit babbling now. I love you guys, and I will see you guys Monday.